Today, I'm going to go through my April physical media haul, and it's a big one, so let's get started.
Welcome back, sir. All systems for gaming will be prepared in a few minutes. For now, feel free to grab a cup of coffee and have a good day.
Hey everyone, Mike here. You're back in the Marvel Man Cave, and today I'm going to show off my April physical media haul that includes a bunch of Blu-rays, one DVD, and a few Steelbooks. And I know what you're saying, Mike, it is the middle or late May, depending on your point of view, and you're just now showing off your April haul. And you're right, you're 100% right. But I had a bunch of other videos that I was doing and just now getting around to it. And you know what? Not many of these were brand new to April, so we're okay. They're still new to me, and I haven't even gotten to watch all of them. So I broke this into 3 different segments. We're going to start off with some basically either eBay or Amazon buys. Then we're going to go to some stuff that I got over at either like a half-price books or a Hamilton Books or a thrift store. And then the last section is actually going to be some movies I picked up from a friend who lives out of state that actually started off the entire month of April. So we're going almost in a little bit of reverse order. So it's going to be a big one today. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're starting off with Tango and Cash, and this is almost a twofer for me. Tango and Cash and Last Man Standing and the Last Boy Scout 2-pack. I got both of these because one, as you'll see later in the video, I had a friend send me a bunch of Sylvester Stallone movies, and one of the ones that I've really been in the mood to watch was Tango and Cash, and it wasn't one that he had, so I went out, found it on Amazon, and went and bought it. And my buddy was here that weekend for C2E2, and we watched it, and you know what? It still holds up. It's a very fun movie. It's pretty basic as far as like the Blu-ray and stuff like that, but still holds up, still a lot of fun. This one I got because we wanted to watch The Last Boy Scout. It was kind of the same deal. I was kind of in this mood for 80s, 90s action movies, and obviously a little bit of buddy comedy kind of thing. And I'd been in the mood to watch Last Boy Scout, so I ordered that and we watched that. I have never seen Last Man Standing and still haven't as of shooting this, but I do plan on watching it. My buddy, he did see it and he didn't want to watch it, so I haven't really, based on that review, haven't really rushed to watch this video. So those were 2 of my early pickups, and got both of these off Amazon. Next up is Tombstone, the Steelbook. I haven't even opened this yet. I just got it in this week as I'm filming, and this is one I've really been looking forward to. I'm actually probably going to sit down and watch this today, because if you haven't seen this movie, it is just phenomenal. I mean, I had this ordered before Val Kilmer died, and obviously that just makes it that much more poignant. This has always been my favorite Val Kilmer movie. So let's go ahead and get this thing cracked open, because I haven't even seen what the inside of this looks like or anything. I've managed to avoid spoilers for the most part, except for I would say spoilers, it's for artwork for a Steelbook, but I've really been looking forward to watching this and actually plan on getting to it today. It was kind of part of my weekend plans. So this is the J card for it with everything on it. And then this is the Steelbook itself with the discs. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So I'm really looking forward to this. Like I said, it's always been my favorite Val Kilmer movie. This is basically the movie that got me into watching Westerns. This is just a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I can't recommend it highly enough, and I'm going to be watching it today. Next up is the movie Chef. Really just got this. I am a massive Jon Favreau fan. I love every movie he does, and I was watching a video the other day, and it was kind of crossed my brain that I was like, I don't know if I actually own this. I used to own the DVD back in the day, but then when I sold all my DVDs and have gotten back into physical media, I've slowly been buying his movies back up, but I realized I didn't own this one, so I corrected that, and luckily this was pretty cheap on Amazon. Another one, From Dusk Till Dawn. When Sinners was getting ready to come out, it gave me very much, I would say, From Dusk Till Dawn vibes, just from the one trailer I saw. Literally, It's Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. They had my money at that. I really didn't need to know anything else. But then when I saw the trailer, if I didn't know it was a vampire movie, I don't think I would have known it was a vampire movie until one point. So it gave me very much feelings of this, and so it put me in the mood to watch From Dusk Till Dawn. Haven't opened this one yet, but this is another one I plan on getting to this weekend. Probably by the time this video is out, I'm actually going to sit down and watch this one because this is a fantastic movie. Funny thing about this movie is I remember sitting and watching this with my brother when we went to see it, and got probably halfway through the movie, and we sat and looked. My brother turned to me, he was like, I thought this was a vampire movie. And I looked at him and I was like, I thought it was too. And I would say probably not 5 minutes later is when Salma Hayek's character turns into a vampire, and we're like, oh, now it kicks off. So it was just kind of one of those funny moments in the theater when we were looking around and we were like, what's going on? We thought we bought tickets for a vampire movie, and you just had to wait for it. Next up is a trio of movies that I got on Amazon's 4 for the 4K, the 3 for 33 sale. And it is The Mummy Returns, because I already had the original Mummy and obviously wanted to get the sequel. I have no interest in the third one at all, so I don't want the box set, so I just wanted to get the Mummy Returns. Sherlock Holmes and the Game of Shadows, or A Game of Shadows, sorry. I had this on Blu-ray, but I own the original movie on 4K, and honestly it was just an upgrade that I wanted to make sure I had both movies in the same format to watch. And then The Fugitive. I don't know why, but this is a movie that I've been in the mood to watch for probably the last month or so, and it's just, it's a fantastic movie. It's a good Harrison Ford movie. I remember watching this, I don't even know how old I was when this came out, but this probably wasn't a movie that was geared towards my age or anything like that, but it captivated me from the very beginning. The one-armed man, the scene with Tommy Lee Jones, when he first in that culvert in the water and everything like that, and Harrison Ford's like, I didn't do it, and Tommy Lee Jones' reply is like, I don't care. It's just a memorable scene. It's a memorable movie. It's a lot of fun, and I've been in the mood to watch it, and so I'm going to. And then the last of the pickups, if you watch my C2E2 video, which I will link to in the comments below, but I picked up the Fantastic Four movie, the Roger Corman version of the movie from C2E2. Yes, it is a bootleg. I normally would feel bad about something like that, but you're never going to get this on an actual release. Like, Marvel was never going to release this movie. But the artwork is not the artwork that I got with it. Neither is the case. It came in a very, very thin case with different artwork. I think I actually have the artwork behind this one. But I was able to find artwork that I liked more and would fit this case. It was like the artwork that came with it was fine, but it didn't fit this style case. So I wanted something that would fit this style case, and I just got a DVD from the Salvation Army and put the movie in here. So I actually watched this the day it came out, and I would say it holds up, but it was pretty good. I was expecting a really bad movie, and it's not great, but considering what it is, I really enjoyed this movie, and I'll probably watch it again. The last movie that I got from Amazon or eBay or an online store was Fruitvale Station. I'd never seen this, but I absolutely love Ryan Coogler. There is nothing that he has done that I have not enjoyed immensely. And when I realized, the only movie of his that I don't own is Fruitvale Station, I just went ahead and bought it. One of the very few blind buys that I do. I generally do not buy movies that I've never seen before. But Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, as I said earlier, Sinners was getting ready to come out, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to watch this movie. So I just went ahead and bought it. I watched it. This is a great movie. And it's almost criminal that it was his first feature-length movie. I think when I looked it up, Ryan Coogler was like 27 years old. And yeah, if you want to kind of feel like you've done nothing with your life, you could watch this movie and realize, like, man, he was 27, and I think back to what I was doing when I was 27 years old, and I was not doing things like this. So hats off to Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, not only for this, but for their continued collaboration, and for Sinners. If you haven't seen Sinners, which who knows by the time you're seeing this what it's doing. Hopefully it's still in theaters, but I saw it. It is phenomenal. So we're moving on to movies that I picked up from, I would say, thrift stores. I either got it from like a half-price books, or I look at movies when I'm on my lunch break. There's a Salvation Army by me. things like that. Every now and then I go to Hamilton Books online. I find them as a really good resource to buy movies at a really good price. So these are all pickups that I got from some sort of, I would say, secondhand store. First up is World War Z. I think I must have just been in some sort of like zombie vampire kick for a minute because The Last of Us had just come out and I was just in the mood to watch World War Z. Well, correct that. I don't think I was in the mood to watch World War Z. It was just one of those movies that's kind of always been in the back of my head, and I've seen it a couple times. Can't say I remembered too much about it. And then I saw it at the thrift store for like $3-4, and I was like, why not? I'll watch it. The movie Upgrade. I love this movie. I remember when it came out, someone was talking about this is the movie that Venom should have been. I don't know if I entirely agree with that. I do enjoy the original Venom movie, but I totally see where they're coming from. It's obviously not a symbiote story in that terms, the way you're thinking about it, of course, of a suit and things like that, and a supervillain or anti-hero. But it's another entity takes over someone else's body and makes them do things. This is a phenomenal movie. It is really good. I've never actually owned it before, so this is the first time. And I believe when I got this, it was still sealed. And it was $4. So I saw this on the shelf, and it was a no-brainer. Talking about movies that were sealed, the original Sin City. This is still sealed as I'm showing you this now, and it was $5 at Half Price Books. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought stylistically it was a lot of fun, especially when it came out. I've watched it a number of times since then. I have not seen the, I guess, recut or extended edition, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But this is one of those movies I'm looking forward to watching on my big screen TV with my sound system. So I'm excited to watch this again and kind of pick it back up. I will not be watching the sequel because I saw it once, and I think that was enough for me. Being that it's baseball season, when I saw the Sandlot at the store, I got this from Half Price Books. It was a no-brainer pickup for me. This is a classic baseball movie. I've considered doing my all-time favorite baseball movies, but I don't own one of them, and I've been hesitant to do the video because of that, because I love the movie Bull Durham, and I just haven't found it yet. But The Sandlot is one of those movies that's just a lot of fun. James Earl Jones is fantastic in it, but, I mean, there's so many quotable lines in this movie. It's just great. The original Toy Story, I picked this up and then almost immediately upgraded it. By the time you're watching this, I've already had the 4K upgrade. It was one of those that kind of came a little bit damaged. I only paid like $2 for it, but it was one of those I was trying to get all the Toy Story movies, and I had them in different kind of formats, and then I saw the box set online on eBay, so that'll be in my May haul video. You can something to a preview of that. So I got this. I will probably still keep this unless the 4Ks come with Blu-rays, which I'm not 100% sure if they do or not. But yeah, I'm getting that. But I got Toy Story because I just love all the Pixar movies and I want to own them all. And speaking of Pixar movies, I picked up The Good Dinosaur. I watched this not that long ago. I still think it's a pretty decent movie. Is it their best? No. It does have that typical kind of Pixar where it kind of wrenches at your heartstrings a little bit towards the end of the movie. But I liked it, and when I saw it on the shelf, and again, it was $4, so I figured why not? I'm trying to complete all the Pixar movies in my collection. I feel like I have to show these three off at the same time because they're all part of the Despicable Me series. I got all these, I believe it was at a Goodwill. I was meeting a friend for dinner, and there was a Goodwill in the area that I'd never been to, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop by. And lo and behold, I found all three of these sitting on the shelf, and they were $2 each. So again, it was a no-brainer. I love the Despicable Me movies. I love the Minions. To me, they're just fun. I mean, they're just fun movies. One thing I noticed when I was going through that particular Goodwill that I hadn't run across before was a lot of the movies, if it was in a Blu-ray case, it would only have maybe the DVD in it. So I had to go through and check all of these to make sure that they did. I got really excited for a second because one of the movies I've been looking for is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty with Ben Stiller, and it was there on Blu-ray, and normally that Blu-ray is $26 on Amazon and other places that I've seen it, and I saw it sitting on the shelf. Got very excited, almost didn't look through it, and then I picked up another movie. I believe it was one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Picked that up, saw that only had the DVD, and I was like, I should probably check. and it only had the DVD. So still on the hunt for that one. Hopefully one day I will find it at a good price. $2 would have been great, but on the hunt continues. Two other movies that I feel like I should show off at the same time that I also got that same goodwill for $2 is the movie A Day After Tomorrow and 2012. They're just fun disaster movies. I would say 2012 I enjoy a little bit more. Day After Tomorrow, it's been a while since I've seen this. I don't remember it being great, but again, for $2, again, I consider this kind of a rental, and if I don't like it, it goes on the shelf, and every few decades, I feel like watching it again because I don't remember when this movie came out, but I was working in the movie theater, so it was probably 2004, 2005 time when this came out, because I remember watching this in the theater and thinking it was fine. At that point in time, you know, the Armageddons and stuff like that had been out, and that's kind of what was summer blockbusters. So I'm going to watch it again in the nearby future, probably sometime this summer, and see if it jogs my memory. All right, a couple more movies that I got. They're not so much, I wouldn't call them a thrift store, but there's a store called Disc Replay out here by me, and they sell 4Ks, they sell Blu-rays, they sell DVDs, they sell games and things like that. But they're usually, sometimes at a discount, sometimes for like the Steelbooks, which I'm going to show off now, they're a little bit more expensive. But I picked up Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie. This was, it's not the only one in the series that I don't own. I don't own Dial of Destiny, and at the prices that I'm seeing go for, I may never own Dial of Destiny. But I wanted to get this one because I had the other three outside of Dial of Destiny, and I didn't have the first one, and I felt like I had to have the first one, and I paid less than $20 for this at the Disc Replay. And then A Christmas Story. This is the Blu-ray version. I just wanted the Steelbook. I own the 4K. It's on the shelf behind me. But this is by far my favorite Christmas movie of all time. This is one of those movies that it holds a lot of nostalgia for me because my dad, who has since passed away, and I used to watch this, and it annoyed the crap out of my brother every Christmas because TBS, I don't know if they still do it, but TBS would run that 24-hour marathon, and we would watch this the entire day. It would start Christmas Eve. Whenever it started, we would start watching it, and then when we woke up Christmas morning, or we were having our coffee and opening our presents, we would watch this movie. And so when I saw this, the Steelbook, I was like, you know what? I don't care if I already own the 4K of this. I just wanted the Steelbook. It was a good price. It was, I think, less than $20. And so this is just one of those movies. It's always going to be in my collection. And then rounding out the April haul is I got this selection of movies, which I'll go through one by one. One of my friends in Michigan, he saw one of my earlier videos. I think it was my March video, and he asked me a couple questions, and I guess he was paring down his collection and asked me if there was anything specific I was looking for, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of been in the mood to watch a bunch of old Sylvester Stallone movies. Like, what do you have? And he went back and looked, and he had a few. And then he took a picture of what he had. So I threw a couple more in there. So we're going to start with the non-Sylvester Stallone movies first. And among that was Raya and the Last Dragon. Again, I talk about how my wife and I are working on collecting all the Disney movies that we can. And obviously this is one of the newer ones. We remember watching this when it came out first on Disney Plus, and we enjoyed it, and I figured I was like, I'll go ahead and add it to the collection because I was finding it, and I forget what he was charging me for it, but it was a really good price. It was less than $10. And kind of combined with that was the movie Luca. This is another COVID pandemic movie that came out, and so when I saw this on a shelf, I was like, yeah, we really enjoy this movies. We would go around the house and say Silencio Bruno ad nauseum when it first came out, so this is another one, adding to the Disney collection. So I mentioned earlier that I bought Tango and Cash, and this is what my friend had in here. There's a 4-pack now, I believe, or at some point, but he had the 3-pack that had these 3 movies in it, and I'd been really in the mood to watch Cobra anyway, and as I'm making this, I think it was Arrow had just announced that they were doing the 4K version because, of course, once you buy this version, they're going to do the upgrade, but I'm probably going to get that anyway because Cobra was one of my mom's favorite movies. My mom loves Sylvester Stallone. I think I've said that in other videos before, but I wanted to watch Cobra, and the other 2 came with it, and I have never seen, I'm pretty sure I've seen Assassins, but it's been a very long time. But I've never seen The Specialist because, honestly, I'm not that big a Sharon Stone fan, so I think that's probably what kept me from watching it. But I have them all now, so I'm going to sit down and watch them. I actually sat down and watched Cobra when this came in, and I still really enjoyed it. I think it's a fun movie. I don't think it's his best, and it's got a lot of plot holes. But as far as just, pure 80s action, I really enjoyed Cobra. And I'm going to try to do these in order, but we have all the Rambo movies. And I know these are on 4K, but I was perfectly fine with just having the Blu-ray versions of all these movies. I would say I really enjoy the first one and the second one. The third one I kind of remember, but I mostly remember the scene where he's been shot through the gut and he lights I think, flare? Maybe it was dynamite? I don't remember. He lights something. He lights some fire powder off in his gut to seal the wound, which at the time I was like, that is the most badass thing I've ever seen in my life. Pretty sure it's not medically appropriate, but when he had this one up available, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take this. And then he actually had I would say the last two Rambo movies. I'm pretty sure it's the last two. Yeah, this is the fourth one. I think this is the fifth one. I think they've only done 5. The last few, they're kind of forgettable. I'm trying to remember if I actually saw the fourth one. I do remember seeing The Last Blood and thinking, but I'm trying to remember. I'm going to have to sit down and actually watch this to see if I remember seeing this video. I remember, what's her name? Julie Benz. So I'm 99% sure that I've seen this one, but that probably tells you about all you need to know about this Rambo movie. Is I forgot it probably about 5 minutes after I finished watching it. And then we got the Rocky collection because, of course, I mean, when you think Sylvester Stallone, some people might think Rambo or something like that, but I always think Rocky. I mean, these were the movies that whenever they came out in theater, my mom, we had the tickets. We went. I remember seeing Rocky 4 in theaters. I remember seeing Rocky 5. It is just one of those. Rocky 3 was always on our TV when I was a kid. My mom loved Sylvester Stallone, so that pretty much meant I love Sylvester Stallone because I saw so many of his movies when I was a kid. It was Sylvester Stallone was my mom's favorite. Arnold Schwarzenegger, my dad loved, so I grew up on those two guys in the 80s. So I knew I had to have the Rocky collection when he showed me he had it. And again, I know these are on 4K, but I'm perfectly fine with just owning the Blu-ray. And it was kind of one of those things. I think I forgot Creed 2 was part of his. It was either Creed 2 or Creed 1 was part of the set that he had available. So I picked that one up as well. I don't know why I don't have it here. But because of that, I'd already owned Creed 2. So I ended up buying Creed 3. And this was an eBay pickup because it was the only. I have Creed 1 and Creed 2, both on Steelbook. And I was like, I have to own the third one. Because you get kind of weird. I'm sure you know this. You're watching this. You're a collector. You get kind of weird about certain things about not having it in your collection, and I like to have the same format. And since I had the other two in Steelbook, I wanted to get the third one in Steelbook as well. So that is my April physical media haul. It was a pretty big one, and to be perfectly honest, if you kind of went through this, most of them were by the one purchase from my friend. I would say probably the biggest chunk of movies were at the start of the month when I got them from my buddy in Michigan, and then other stuff I just kind of randomly picked up throughout the month. I'm kind of sitting here looking at the stack, and maybe that's a lie. Maybe it's probably about break even. But that's kind of how it goes when you're collecting stuff. It's like you can't turn down a good deal, right? But that's my April physical media haul. I hope you liked it. Please let me know in the comments below which of these movies you enjoyed seeing most. What ones would you have picked up if you had been faced? Which ones would you have put back if you had seen them? I'm sure there's at least a few on that list. So if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up. Please hit subscribe. And if you missed my other physical media hauls, I have a playlist for that. And you can check out last month's haul in this video right here. Have a good day, everybody. And don't forget, collect what you love.